So the left is absolutely furious today because they found out recently that the Trump administration has said that they're not, in fact, going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill after all come 2020. Donald Trump, additionally on top of this, called ditching Andrew Jackson political correctness. Now, if you don't remember, it was quite hilarious. We made a big joke of it on my main channel quite some time ago when Donald Trump stood in front of the picture, the painting of Andrew Jackson while delivering a speech to Indians, to Native Americans. Well, they call themselves Native Americans, but they're not native here, and I hate using that term, so I guess we'll just adopt the left's term, indigenous, as if they sprouted from the plains here in America. No, they actually came over through the Bering Land Bridge from Asia, and they're not actually native here either. But he did this speech in front of an Andrew Jackson painting, and ever since one of my friends actually suggested, my online friends suggested that I get a bust of Andrew Jackson because the left was so entirely furious about Andrew Jackson. I don't know if we could focus on that, but this is Andrew Jackson up here up on the shelf here, and so I followed through with that suggestion. And it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. I should have looked at probably the size on Amazon before I purchased the bust of Andrew Jackson, but I'm actually happy that it's not as big as I thought it was going to be, because I'm not sure how much weight that shelf can hold. But anyway, moving on. So Donald Trump says he's not going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. After all, he says Andrew Jackson is the guy. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has sparked outrage from lawmakers after announcing that American hero Harriet Tubman will not appear on the $20 bill as planned for 2020. The U.S. Treasury will not introduce a redesigned $20 bill picturing escaped slave and abolitionist Harriet Tubman next year, Mnuchin said on Wednesday. And here's the thing. It's like we just saw, who's that guy, Pete Buttigieg, or however you pronounce his name, Pete Buttigieg, said that we should be taking down we should not be praising Thomas Jefferson because he's a racist who owned slaves, basically hinting at dynamiting Mount Rushmore. And this is what they want. They want to replace. Here's the thing. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. This first started with the Confederate statues. This is what I covered a little while ago on this channel, the second channel, where we talked about the Washington murals being taken out of schools because they offended kids in Chicago. I think there was, or maybe it was in California. It might have been in California. But there was another thing with a painting with a bunch of white people on it, and it offended kids in Chicago, so they took that painting out. They took it started with the Confederate statues. Then it moved on to Christopher Columbus. His statues being removed all across America. Then it moved on to William McKinley. McKinley's statue has been taken down in a bunch of different states across America. Then they started to change Columbus Day. Even in Columbus, Ohio, they changed Columbus Day to, quote, Indigenous Peoples Day. As we know, they're not even indigenous. They're not even native here. Now, I know people make arguments for Amerigo Vespucci instead, but even if it was him, let's say Columbus, no statues, no days. Let's say it was Amerigo Vespucci. Let's say it was Vespucci Day instead of Columbus Day. They would still take that down. They would call him a colonizer, a racist, and what have you, and that would still come down. It's all about removing any sort of history that has to do with European heritage at all. That's what this is about. And I always talk about this book, The White Shift. If you want to look up that book, you can purchase that book. It really describes why we're seeing so much tension, why we're seeing so much division in America. Now, this author goes on to argue that this will pass, that this white shift will occur, and everyone will become a few shades darker white, and the culture will live on. But that's not true. We know that's not true. They're talking about banning Thanksgiving because it's racist. They're banning all statues. They're going to dynamite Mount Rushmore. And this is really this leads me into this story. When Presley asked Mnuchin whether or not the redesign will be complete by the 2020 deadline, Mnuchin said that he was not focused on making any change to the imagery. So here's the clip. Let's see if we can pull up this quick clip here. See how
As you know, 2020 is only 1 year away, and since Secretary Liu's departure,
people that only care about things, people that look like themselves, right? This is what it is. This is exactly what this is about.
Currency redesign. Will the redesign meet the 2020 deadline, yes or no?
So let me comment that the primary reason we've looked at redesigning the currency is for counterfeiting issues. Based upon this, the $20 bill will now not come out till 2028. The $10 bill and the $50 bill will come out with new features beforehand. So the answer is, it is my responsibility now to focus on what is the issue of counterfeiting and the security features. The ultimate decision on the redesign will most likely be another secretary's down the road. We will meet the security feature redesign in 2020. The imagery feature will not be an issue that comes up until most likely 2026.
And I'm just wondering if you could explain that to me, because after an exhaustive community process, where people who organized for quite some time, and you said you do share my sentiments and opinion that our currency should be more reflective of the contributions and the diversity of those contributions. So why the delay?
No, I didn't say that the currency should be reflected.
Well, you said imagery.
I said imagery, not referring to currency.
Okay, so do you believe that, do you support Harriet Tubman being on the $20 bill?
I've made no decision as it relates to that, and that decision won't be made in as I said,
but there was a community process.
She's so mad. I'm sorry, but we organized. There was a community process. We organized. For 2 years, we organized. What is going on here? This is supposed to happen. This activism is supposed to result in the results that we want, even if that's at the detriment of everyone else. This is supposed to happen. Mnuchin made, and it's Trump telling Mnuchin not to do this, right? Trump is a big Andrew Jackson fan, by the way. Mnuchin made it clear that the primary reason we've looked at the redesigning currency is for counterfeiting issues and not to change the current imagery in honor of one of the bravest black heroes in American history. We will meet the security feature design goal in 2020. The imagery feature will not be an issue that comes up until mostly 2026, Mnuchin told lawmakers. It is not a decision that is likely to come past... Damn, these flies. Can't kill him either. Too quick. Says that it will not come up until 2026. Mnuchin said the new $20 bill features will not come up until 2028, but the $10 and $50 bill will come out with new features beforehand. He declined to tell lawmakers in the hearing if he supported putting Tubman on the bill, because he knows that he can't answer that correctly. I mean, this is just... If you're going to change something, the president who thinks Robert E. Lee is a hero has decided to prevent the public celebration from an actual hero. Applebaum. Brandon Friedman. The decision to place Tubman on the $20 bill was made during the Obama administration. It was planned for 2020. Now the Trump administration is delaying it until 2028 because they are white supremacists, Mr. Friedman says. Yeah. Harriet Tubman belongs on the $20 bill. This is from Valerie Jarrett, the one who got Roseanne fired. Not moving forward is an insult, not just to the African American community, but to all Americans who believe we should honor an American who contributed so greatly to the nation's history. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we put like Harriet Tubman on one side and then Andrew Jackson on the other? If you're going to change the money, just make sure that Andrew Jackson is on some other sort of money or some other dollar bill, some other bill, whatever. The Trump administration has angered several people who believe Tubman's rightful place should be on the $20 bill. Why the 20, by the way? People other than white men built this country. I wonder if it's a numerical sort of thing. People other than white men built this country. And Secretary Mnuchin agrees, yet he refuses to update our currency, Representative Presley tweeted shortly after she grilled Mnuchin. So this is the chick here. This is the racist chick here. She's absolutely, she hates white people. Ariana Presley. People other than white men built this country. People, listen. I'm really trying to hold some punches back here, just for the sake of YouTube's terms of service. But if you actually look at who built the roads, the bridges, the canals, the infrastructure, the skyscrapers, and all the rest, it wasn't. It was white men. It's mostly Italian and Irish immigrants. That is a fact. I'm sorry, but that is a fact. When you talk about slaves built this country, that is bull Bullcrap. Okay? Only 4% of the South owned slaves. Number one. Number two, we got millions upon millions upon millions less slaves in the 4% of the South than all of South America did. So when we talk about building this country, making this country what it is today, that's all garbage. When we look at these sub-Saharan Africans, they weren't even using the wheel when we were sailing the ocean blue, okay? That is BS. That is absolute garbage, and everyone knows it. Irish and Italian Americans, Irish and Italian immigrants built the country. You didn't see slaves up on the high rises of the skyscrapers or building the canals or building the infrastructure or building the roads and the bridges. That didn't happen. Okay, in the South, there were some things. There was 4% of the South that actually owned slaves. 4% of the South. The North was the South was agrarian. The North was industrialized and free men building industry. Okay, so sorry, that is false. That is fake. That is fake news. Harriet Tubman belongs on the $20 bill. The white supremacists running this country are about to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. To have y'all contemplating racism and resistance every time y'all go to the ATM, y'all gonna get that good old agent of genocide, Andrew Jackson. Second, Amy Siskin. This is another one that always tweets out fake stuff that gets proven fake, and then she still leaves it up. As if I couldn't disdain this man more. Mnuchin says Harriet Tubman, $20 bill delayed until 2028. Trump wants to get Americans on the moon by 2024, but design problems will delay the Harriet Tubman $20 bill until 2028. Okay, replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 with Harriet Tubman honors the best, not worst, of our history. Her cause was the most just there is, and due to her repeated heroic life-risking rescues, she is arguably the single bravest person in American history. Activist Bree Newsom Bass tweeted, the white supremacists running this country. Oh my God. Writer Wahat Ali also said, they're out here trying to erase Harriet Tubman, but fighting for Robert E. Lee. Yes, exactly. And you can see the ex-Obamaites back in the Obama's Jacob Law, pictured in April 2016, has scheduled a new $20 bill with Harriet Tubman for 2020. This is, they're all happy about this. Sorry. Trump has canceled that plan. This channel and video is kindly sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Now, depending on who you talk to, some say it's only a matter of time before society completely breaks down. It's only a matter of time before we're facing a national crisis at our doorstep. Others are more concerned about an EMP attack or a localized natural disaster. Whatever the case may be, even if you believe nothing catastrophic will likely happen, it's probably still a good idea to have at least a month's supply of dry food for you and your family. So visit preparewithvincent.com today to get $100 off of a 4-week food supply that has a 25-year shelf life. We all stock up on ammo. Make sure to stock up on food too, just in case.